And it's easy to take the pain and the suffering, the guilt and the shame that we all experience, right, of our past. It's easy to be so uptight and to hold on to it and think that that's our identity. Yes, we're afraid. We're afraid of something. We're afraid of losing something in some form or fashion. So we try to control our world. And really the anger is coming from, for me, it was me trying to control my outer world. That energy that we are, that's our soul, that's our spirit, that's the power.
Is it going to be something that builds? Is it going to be a life-giving interaction in some big or small way? Or are they just going to be an accessory or even an obstacle?
Get yourself uncomfortable. Do something that makes you not want to be there.
Dude, I can't even imagine thinking the way that I used to think.
So we were living parts of our vision and we wanted more of it.
Tony, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on.
So Tony's another one that we were also in the same course. You heard me talking with Brad Finkeldye, and Tony was in the same course as us, and Tony's awesome too. So we're gonna dive into what Tony's got in store for us and hear what he has to say.
I'll pay you later for telling people that I'm awesome.
I accept credit cards.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. So I love Brad as well. Yeah, that was a fun course. That was a fun course.
Yeah. So what is it you're doing?
So now I made this complete shift because you know how even in the course that we were in, man, we evolve, right? So we're constantly evolving, and we're just taking the next step in the next part of the path that we think we're supposed to be on, that we believe we're supposed to be, we feel we're supposed to be on, and which also leads us to where we're going, right? So this is why we can't be attached to a specific outcome or idea that we're in, because it can completely evolve. Like for me, it's evolved over the last 2 years even. Well, shoot, over the last 4 years, it's evolved a million times. So I'm not even doing the same thing I was doing 4 years ago. But over this last year, even in the group, so I was a coach, right? I was doing life coaching, doing a lot of similar things to what Mike Kitko was doing, who was leading. For those who are listening and don't know who that is, he was the one who is leading the group that we were in, that we met at. So I was doing a lot of life coaching then. I've been doing that for a while. And I'd always had these ups and downs, these roller coaster, income down, income up, income down, clients, no clients. And I was getting frustrated, but I was learning a lot about myself. It's like, okay, I was doing a lot of one-on-one private clients. And I'm like, I want to do more group. I love doing more groups. So I want to try and figure out group. I have a little bit of success, and then it just kept doing that roller coaster thing. And I'm like, why am I still struggling? I'm doing all this inner work, doing all this stuff. It's like, what is creating this? Well, then it's like, okay, I'm going to do more speaking because I love being in front of groups. I love being in front of crowds and sharing my story to a bunch of people and lighting them on fire. I'm like, that lights me up. Private clients, although I was honored and I loved serving them, it wasn't enough for me because it was just one person or one person here and there. And there's only so many people you can do. But when you're standing on stage or you're in a group and you're sharing, man, it always lit me up and I loved it. So I'm trying to do all these different groups, and that, obviously it's less work. You're helping and serving more people when you're doing from a stage or in a group than you are one-on-one. So I was trying to really collapse time frames and really scale. And it just, like I said, kept doing this roller coaster. So then it was about halfway through the group that Angie, Mike's wife, she's so intuitive. And now we talked about that prior to even hitting the record button. But she's like, Tony, I've been trying to figure this out for a while. I knew something was off with you, but I couldn't figure it out. You're supposed to be an entertainer. You're not supposed to be coaching. You're supposed to help people and change and transform their lives as an entertainer. Because, I love to have fun. Love to have fun. I love to make people laugh. I love to laugh, especially in times like right now. We have to laugh. This stupid coronavirus. And it's, some people are going to be looking back. Oh yeah, I read that in a book. Yeah, because it's going to be history.
I heard about that. What was that?
Yeah, it is something that was crazy. That's what that was. But just laughing. I love to laugh, but I've gone through a lot of pain. I've gone through a lot of shit. And I've learned to be able to laugh through it. To even when times aren't going well. It's easy to laugh when things are going well. It's not so easy when things are falling apart. But I can do it. And it's easy to take the pain and the suffering, the guilt and the shame that we all experience, right, of our past. It's easy to be so uptight and to hold on to it and think that that's our identity. But instead, let's change that. Do this internal work. Let go of the attachment and laugh at that shit too. And laugh at the dumb things we do. Laugh at the decisions we make based off of our programming and all our conditioning from the past. Let's laugh at it all. Let's laugh at the fact that I was a toxic, angry, insecure, bitter, and resentful guy. I can laugh at that now. Why? Because I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not the same guy I was a week ago. Because I have an inner game that is super strong. But it's being able to laugh at this stuff, because if you can laugh when things aren't going well, when you can laugh when you mess up, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in finance, whether it's in business, or a business deal falls apart, or things aren't going the way that you thought they should have been going, and you can laugh at it, you know how much easier it is to get through life? You know how much more fun life is? I mean, it's amazing to be able to do that, to be able to just laugh when things just take a complete sideways, like right now with this whole coronavirus. We're not in control of what's going on. You know, they're shutting everything down. We can't control it, but we can make the best of it.
Yeah.
And we can have fun with it.
So what do you think that is? Why do you think it is that we respond more positively to laughing about something than pitying and the woe is me?
Well, for one, with laughing, you know, the studies have shown with the chemicals and all that, how our body works, that it releases this, you know, the serotonin, the feel good, and the oxytocin. I think that's what it's called. Now I probably just screwed that up. But the feel good hormones, it releases that. But there's also healing in it. Versus when we stress over it and we're worried and we get anxious, right? That keeps us in our pattern, and it actually holds us back. And then we have our vibration, right? We are vibrational, energetic beings. Science has proven that too. Whether you believe in religion, whether you believe in spirituality, or whether you just believe in science, you can't deny the fact that we are energy. So when we are stressed, when we are worried, when we're anxious, that lowers our vibration down, which keeps us in these mental and emotional patterns of chaos, of living in this chaos. But then based off that, we create our reality. Those thoughts, those feelings, that energy, because that energy we put out and attracts back like energy. But when you're able to laugh, you're opening yourself up to a new realm of abundance and prosperity and love and peace and freedom. Freedom. When you can laugh at every situation and you're not freaking out, wondering what's going on, because the whole reason we're stressed and worried anyway, because we're taking something from the past and bringing it into the future. And we're missing the present moment. Laughter allows us to be present in that moment and let go of everything that is in the past and in the future.
Dude, that's pure gold. So what in the world happened that led you down this path to realize that?
Well, it started 9 years ago when my wife died unexpectedly. She had an overdose on pain meds, and I found her in the basement and left me to raise my daughter, who was 5 now, who's now 14. So I am raising a freaking teenage daughter by myself, and I'm just gonna laugh at that too. But it's fun now. I mean, she is my biggest teacher, and I'm thankful. I'm actually grateful for my wife's death. And I know people are listening to me like, what the fuck? How can he be so grateful for that? And I said, because I found purpose. And her death saved me. Because like I said, I was this angry, bitter, insecure, toxic guy. I was on a path to end up like my brother and my dad.
Mm-hmm. And that was following her death?
Yes. And it was, they've had multiple heart attacks. Multiple heart attacks. My dad's suffering now. My brother he's 40, He's 48, and he's had like 4 heart attacks.
Whoa.
Yes, because it's all that pain, all that, so heart disease really comes from not being able to have joy in your life and feeling not deserving or undeserving. I can't talk tonight, but feeling undeserving of joy and love in your life. That's all we knew. It's all we grew up. It's all these cycles that have been passed on from generation to generation. Well, my wife's death, that began me on this journey, but then I got remarried after that. I've been married 4 times, bro.
Whoa.
And I can laugh at that because if people are like, holy shit, you've been married 4 times, man. What the hell is wrong with you? I can tell you. And I joke around what the hell was wrong with me and why. I didn't know it then. A lot of what we do and how we react, we're all doing it unconsciously because we are living in these programs and these patterns that we aren't aware of until we're aware of it. So I began this journey of doing that. Well, I got remarried and it was very toxic. She was toxic. I was toxic. She was freaking abusive. I was abusive. I mean, it was this nightmare. But she finally walked out, but I kept trying to hold on to this relationship, even though I knew it was good. I was sick all the time. My daughter was sick all the time. I mean, it was just miserable. So and I was trying to do all these different things. I was in church really, really big then. And I had pastors keep telling me, oh, just give it to God, he'll take it away. And then I had them tell me, like, you just got to rely on strength. You may never get over anger. You may live with this the rest of your life, but that's okay. Just keep giving it to God. He'll use it. And I was like, why would he want me to suffer? Why would God want me to suffer? That makes no sense. More importantly, why would he want my daughter to suffer?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I got to live with this? I mean, think about this, man. I'm going to give you a glimpse of the inside of how it was. It was like, don't get angry, don't get angry, don't get angry, don't get angry. Well, then you keep focusing on that. And ultimately, and I was so scared of getting angry because I didn't want to lash out and be abusive. That was mental or physical or emotional. Most of the time it wasn't really physical. It was emotional, mental. Occasionally it was physical because I would freaking get so out of control, I couldn't control it. But I was like, I don't like it, but I couldn't stop it. And here I'm praying and praying, God, take it away, take it away, take it away, take it away. And then I'd ultimately blow up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm back, beat myself up again. Damn it.
Just that
up
perpetual
again.
loop.
Oh, it was crazy. And I mean, I'm trying everything to get past it. And I actually got to the point where I was like, maybe I am just an angry guy. I've tried everything. Maybe this is the route I am. I've given it to God. I'm doing it. He's not taking it away. I'm not getting the strength. I keep screwing up. I don't like it. I'm miserable. But maybe this is just who I am. After all, I'm Italian. Italians have bad tempers. Before have we? It's the stupidest thing too. And I joke around that too. Like I was getting ready, I had my debut comedy show coming up this Saturday. Obviously I had to cancel it because the government's canceling everything and groups and everything. So I had to cancel it. And, of course I'm going to reschedule when we are allowed to. We don't know when that is, but I talk about part of one of my jokes was talking about being Italian, and Italians had bad tempers, and we buy into this genetic of who we are. Oh, I'm German, so we got this going on. I'm Irish, so we're a bunch of drunks. No, it's because we buy into that's who we are, and because the same cycles are being passed on, that's who we are. But when you do what you think is everything you're trying to do to overcome, I mean, I was doing inner work. I was doing personal development after personal development, going to seminars, events. I went to Tony Robbins events, and I kept hitting this wall. And then finally, when this last ex, so I've been married 4 times, divorced 3, widowed once. So she left, and I said, all right. I was smart enough and I was aware enough to say, all right, I'm the common denominator here. All my relationships, I'm the common denominator. Whether I was the toxic one, she was the toxic one, or both. I'm the common denominator. I'm attracting this in. Why? And then I heard this little voice that said, Tony, Kylie, and that's my daughter's name, she's going to choose a guy like you and marry him someday. If she were to choose today, would you be happy with that choice? And I'm like, oh, hell no. I would kill that dude. I mean, I was like, no. And then that voice says to me, Tony, she's watching you. You got work to do. And I said, all right, I'm not dating. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get to the bottom of this anger. That's all I wanted to do, is figure out anger.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that the path it was going to lead me on. And back then it was really a lot of cognitive. I didn't do in this deeper spiritual stuff that I do now that Mike has led me on. I just did cognitive, and it helped me. Within a year, I was doing much better.
Mm-hmm.
So much better. I was barely getting angry at all. And now it's very rare that I get angry. And if I do, it's because it's something inside me that needs to be healed anyway.
So what was
And-
that? Was it just like in this situation when I recognize that I'm getting angry, I choose to react this way instead of just letting feelings come up, or what was changing in that?
So for me, it was like, okay, why am I getting angry in this point? But a lot of it went back to my own, because anger is really a sub emotion to fear.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of guys aren't going to want to hear that, but they get angry because we think angry, that's a sign of strength, and it's not. It's actually weakness. We're afraid. We're afraid of something. We're afraid of losing something
Mm-hmm.
in some form or fashion. So we try to control our world. And really the anger is coming from, for me, it was me trying to control my outer world. Because if I can control my outer world, then I would be okay. I knew consciously from all the personal development that that's not possible. But from an unconscious, unaware state, this is what we do. We try to control our outside world. We think that if we can manipulate and control our world, this is why we get so damn stressed out. This is why we get so freaking worried and anxious. This is why we're so depressed. This is why we're so disconnected. This is why we're doing so many freaking drugs or alcohol or shopping or sex or whatever, is because we are so disconnected from ourselves and we're trying to control our outside world because we have all this pain on the inside stored down, all this trauma, all these experiences from childhood, whether we had a great childhood or not. And I can tell you, I've people are like, oh, I had a great childhood. If you aren't living the life that you want to live, you perceive something in your childhood, whether it was intentional or not. You perceive something, and that has held you back and created a trauma experience. I've coached, pastors, former pastors, kids, and they're like, oh, I had a great childhood. I'm not saying you didn't, but something happened. And every time they're like, we dive into it. And it's within a few weeks of getting into it. Because I'm an empath too, so I can feel into that pain.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell where their pain is, and I can tell where they're storing it. And I know some people are like, oh, how the hell do you do that? I'm like, well, because we're all connected. We have this ability. Some of us, I believe all of us are empaths, but only a select few are really in tune with that. And mine became in the last 2 years of me doing this deeper inner work. So most of what I was doing was this cognitive stuff. The cognitive, just doing a lot of forgiveness in the beginning. When I learned I didn't forgive my dad for all the pain he inflicted on me.
Mm.
So that was on a cognitive. Obviously, some of it went to an energetic because I healed some, and I got to a good place. I was able to write a book, but that comes from my religious background right then, because I was still in my religious beliefs, holding on to that, which is fine because that's what I needed at the moment. But then I started doing things. I'm like, okay, I could coach people. I'm doing good. I got all these certifications, and it's great. And I still wasn't getting anywhere. I would keep hitting these walls. I'm like, what the fuck? I just want freedom. It's all I want. I'm not angry anymore, but I'm still stressed. I still have something going on. It was like finances was my biggest thing. And then Mike Kitco, we were friends and we were in coach class together, but he was doing all this other internal spiritual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying to me, it took him a year, Tony, you ready? Ready to go deeper? Nope. I don't believe in that shit. I'm not doing it. These are my beliefs, and I'm holding on to those damn things for freaking life. I'm going to die with these things. I was holding on to it, a death grip. And he kept asking me. He was just, you ready? No, not doing it. Ready? And finally one day, it was October 2017. I said, dude, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I got to do something different. And that began my journey going deeper into the spiritual, not religious, but into the spiritual. But even in the beginning, it was hard for me because I kept viewing everything from the lens of my religious beliefs. Nope. Don't believe in that one. Okay, I could open up a little bit to that one. Okay, I could take that a little bit. I can see that. Nope, not that one. And then as I'm doing more of the work, I'm doing the meditation and I'm sitting in there and I'm feeling, I'm going into my feelings. That's the thing. I'm going into my feelings, feeling what's coming up, feeling all of that. And obviously when you meditate, some of that stuff's coming up already anyway, because you're automatically raising your vibration. You're raising your frequency, your energetic frequency. And I know some people may be listening to this going, well, I don't believe in that crap. And I'd like to argue and challenge them and say, oh, really? Have you ever walked into a room and felt, something don't feel right in here? Well, yeah, that's the energy. That's the same thing. What we're doing is going on a deeper level with this, on understanding how we operate, that we're spiritual, divine beings. We're energetic beings having a human experience, and everything we do is from an energetic standpoint that we create from our thoughts. Everything, thoughts have a frequency. Every word, everything has a vibrational frequency. And then all that stuff that's stored down, all those thoughts, those beliefs in our subconscious have a frequency. So consciously, we can have something amazing in a higher frequency, but if our subconscious, if our body is not in alignment with that, we attract what we feel. We put it out there. This is how prayer works. Even in religion, it's like, oh, God answered my prayers. Or why didn't he answer my prayers? Because you're not lining up. You're not allowing it to flow to you. You are blocking it with your energy. And the only way to unblock it is to deal with the trauma, deal with the pain, deal with the experiences from the past, feel into your emotions, understand your emotions. Don't let them control you, but learn to sit with them. To know that when you're triggered, it has nothing to do with the person or thing or event that is triggering you. Nothing. It's always you. It's something that needs to be healed inside you. When people say, oh, that offends me. Well, it has nothing. You need to change that. No. You need to heal it. But again, it goes back to what I was saying previously, that we try to control our outside world. And that's what I was trying to do. I try to control my outside world. This is why we get pissed off. This is why we get stressed, because it's not going the way we want it to.
What do you think is holding us back from going in and connecting with that? Do you think it's that we're just unaware, or do you think we're afraid of what we may go through?
It's a combination of both. And a lot of it has to do with our beliefs in the moment. In religion, the reason why I've resisted for so long, oh, you can't do that. You're going to invite the devil in. I mean, this is really what I was taught. You can't meditate because you're inviting the devil in. You can only meditate on the word. But if you look back at history, you can see where early Christians and even Jesus freaking meditated. So it's interesting how this dynamic shifted. But what I realized is, because if you are able to go in and you understand who you truly are, they lose control. Right? So it's beliefs holding on that keeps us from doing that. It's awareness of who we are, right? So there's that piece of it too. And then there's fear. What happens if I go into this? Who am I going to become? Am I deserving of it? Am I worthy of it? We have all this guilt and shame, but we try to mask it and hide it. And see, our body and human behavior is we want to get away from pain, right? And go to pleasure. And we'll do everything we can to get to pleasure. But the mind, the ego, when you start doing this work, it'll try and get you back quickly, because it's the unknown. It's like, oh shit, that's scary. You're going to die. So it tries to get you back, and it'll do everything it can to get you back to comfort. And that's exactly what was happening to me. Because every time I tried to move forward, I would start moving forward and bam, I hit this wall every time. And I would sabotage the shit out of it. And I'm like, why? It wasn't until I started finally doing this work. But it took having someone walking side by side with me who already went through it, that I knew that I wasn't alone as I started doing it. Was it painful at times? Oh, hell yeah. It still is at times. I'm like, even now when I'm working through some things, I know it's heavy and I know it's going to be some pain. I'll avoid it for a little bit, but I know I'm avoiding it. I go, I'm avoiding it right now, and I'll get to it here in a minute. When I'll know when it's time, because I'm like, okay, I'm done with the pain. I'm done feeling this pain. It's time to walk through this. And then I'll deal with the pain, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you hear these jokes all the time about spiritual awakening, right? And like, oh, it's all this peaceful joy and bliss. No, you feel like you're losing your mind sometimes in the beginning. So this is funny. I tell this story, and this is one of my jokes, but I'm not going to go into the whole joke because I want everybody to know about it unless you come see me live. but it's talking about like, so I kept putting everything in this lens of this religion, right? Nope, I could take that. Nope. And I kept doing it. Well, then things started lining up, and I started experiencing things that I could not deny, that were completely different than religion, that were going against what I learned in religion. But I was experiencing this, and I go, well, that's happening. I can't deny what I just felt. I can't deny what the hell just happened in my physical world.
Yeah.
What is going on? So then I started diving deeper. And then it was like April of 2018. I mean, it happened pretty quickly from October to April. That's when my beliefs started unfolding and just unraveling. Wasn't doing anything. I just started doing my own internal healing. And then they started unraveling, and I thought I was actually dying. I thought I was having heart attacks. I mean, I really thought I was dying, but it was me ripping those beliefs off, right? And shedding the ego and going into, and it's really, for anybody who's coming from a religious standpoint, is shedding the ego is the crucifixion, right? And then the resurrection is actually remembering who you truly are as a spiritual divine being with the power to create any reality you want in your life, that you have the ability and the power inside you to create. You co-create. God, the universe, source, the force. I've heard someone say that, the force. But whatever it is you relate to, energy, it doesn't matter, right? I call it God. And sometimes I use universally, I use universe, God, universe, the same thing. It's all the same. It's all leading to one place. But that energy that we are, that's our soul, that's our spirit, that's the power. And we're all connected by that source because we come from the one true source. And because we're that one true source, we are that power. And because we are that power, we have the ability to create any reality. Our life is a damn movie. It's a show. It's absolutely a show. And the cool thing about a show is what happens when they don't like the ending. They put the movie together, right? And then they go and do a preview and just see the responses from the audience. And the audience like, oh, I didn't like that ending, or I didn't like this. They're like, okay. They go back and reshoot. Or if there's a script, they don't like the way the script is, they rewrite that part of the script. Same thing with your life. You have the ability to recreate and rewrite the script. If you don't like it, you have the ability to change the scene. It's your show.
Yeah.
Some people call it a video game. I call it a show because I love to have a show. Or I'm Tony Freakin Fonte. I love to have a show, and I love to have fun. And when you realize that whether it's a show, whether it's a musical, it doesn't matter what you feel your life is, it's supposed to be fun. Life is supposed to be fun. We put these limitations on ourselves from our guilt and shame, and all of that comes from the bullshit from our past. It's been passed on from generation to generation. And when you make the decision to say, I'm done, you hear this, oh, it runs in the family. Cancer runs in the family, heart disease runs in the family. That shit runs out with me. I'm breaking generations. Like I said, I'm not doing it from an ego standpoint. I'm doing it from a spiritual healing standpoint to say, I know who I am. I'm changing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. So not only was I breaking all those beliefs down, well, I was also healing generations of pain. So I literally thought I was dying. And that lasted for a while. I would go off and on. Like I would go weeks and feel like I'm dying, like having a panic attacks. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be all right for a minute and go back into it because I was healing and resisting and just going back in. It's like, holy shit. And then it was shortly after that it was like maybe a year later. Maybe it was a year later that the empath ability started coming out. That I started feeling people's pain. And then I had to discern whether it was mine or theirs. And then I was like, I'd hear little words or phrases come to me. And I'm like, and I feel this urge to have to tell this person.
Mm.
Or I'd be sitting with them and I'm like, why do you feel alone? Why do you feel unloved? And they're like, how the hell do you know that? And I'm like, just felt it. And then they start crying. They're like, holy shit. And I'm like, you are holding it in your chest or your stomach or something. They're like, how do you know I got a knot? I'm like, I feel this.
Yeah.
This is why you can't lie to me, or any empath for that matter. Because we're like, no, we can see right through that shit. Because your energy will precede you. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. If your energy is not in alignment, your energy precedes you. That's why people we say, you feel all right? You seem like you're off. Oh, I'm good. No, something's not right with you. That's why we all have this ability, because we feel that energy. This is why animals are so in tune. Like dogs, for instance, right? If you see a dog just wanting to attack some person because they feel their energy is at a very low vibration, why you say, I mean, you got to trust a dog. If they're very aggressive towards some people, like some people, but not others,
Mm-hmm.
the person's energy. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. Because, in this realm, there is no really good or bad. It's duality. There just is. We put good or bad based on our belief system.
So how do you separate that sensing, that feeling of that energy from like just being really in tune to picking up on the social cues?
State that again.
What do you see or feel that that's a feeling of that energy, that you can sense that's that energy, as opposed to just somebody doing something that gives off the social cue as opposed to the energy cue?
Well, like I said, the energy will precede anything, and since we're all energetic beings, so when you're doing a lot of work, and this is taking me a lot of work to get here, and I still am learning it, right? Because sometimes I can take on the energy of whoever I'm at or the room. So if there's a lot of anxiety in a room, I will take it on. So I can feel anxiety. I can feel when someone's not overthinking things and in their head too much. I get really lightheaded. But I can feel a ton of pain. Even right now with this whole Corona thing, if I'm out, I'll feel panic. And then I'll catch it, and all of a sudden I'll start feeling panicking. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh wait, that's not mine, because I'm not even worried about this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it, and I just feel it heavy. So then I got to go home, and then I got to detach from that, and I got to just do a quick meditation or just quick breathing to release that and let that go. But the energy, it's hard to put into words. You just know it and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell it's someone's energy because you feel it everywhere you go. You can feel someone's energy. Yeah. But the thing is sometimes we can project our own energy onto someone else and think it's them. Mm. And the good way to know is if it doesn't resonate with them. And it's like, oh, I mean, that's me. My bad. But it's about learning that and going with it. But most of the time you can just feel it. I can feel it all the time when someone's going on. I can literally look at them now and go, okay, you're putting on this, you're laughing and smiling, but you're in pain inside. What's going on with you? How the hell? It's like, does all the time. My daughter, I could do it all the time. Because I'll sit there and all of a sudden I'll feel her anxiety. And I'm like, why do you feel like crying? I don't know. And then I was like, let's dig into that. And then I'll sit there with it for a moment and I'll connect. And then for me connecting, it'll hit me and go, is this bothering you? And then boom, she'll start crying or whatever. And I'm like, all right, you got this going on. You got a knot in your stomach and it's moved over to here, to your heart. It's moved to your chest. She's like, that is so freaky. You're freaking me out, Dad. And it's just like, how you do that? I was like, I just feel it.
Yeah.
But we are also drawn to people's energy. So think about it. So if you ever walk into a room and you see someone looks charismatic, but there's just something about them that it draws you to them. Like, I want to know. They're like, they're so positive or whatever. And I just got to know more about this person. That's that energy. You feel it. It feels but it's like, oh, it's so positive. Because you got a lot of people who act like they're positive, but they're not. And I was one of those guys. I had that false positivity. Oh, got to be positive about everything. And that's really a ploy to say, I don't want to deal with all this negative shit. So I'm going to be positive all the time. So it's trading an addiction for another addiction is really what it is. It's like, okay, I'm going to focus on this positivity, but I don't want to deal with this shit. But in the entrepreneur world, because I was also taught by a lot of personal development people that you got to do that way. And there's a lot of them guys and gals that struggle and they're still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Versus coming from this standpoint, it's like, no, you got to get that energy up. Got to raise your vibration. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference in positivity. It's like positivity to me now is, hey, I'm going to acknowledge how I feel at this moment. Because right now I don't feel so positive.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't be positive all the time. You just can't be. And if you think you are, you're lying. And I will call you out on it. And if I'm acting that way, call me out on it. I have people that call me like, Tony, you're lying. You're right, I am. I'm not feeling well. Where now it's like, you know what? I have this fear, but I'm also excited at the same time of doing this. Part of me says, no, I don't want to do this. But there was part of me that says, I do want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me says, I want this to cancel and I don't want to do this because I'm so freaking afraid. Part of me says, let's freaking do it because this is what you're meant to do. And then it's like, I'm going to do this even though I'm afraid. Because then it dissolves. But it's acknowledging that fear, acknowledging whatever emotion you're feeling at that moment, but then choosing something different, and began that path of choosing something different, working for the next best emotion, next best feeling. Because when we are in alignment and feeling good, that's when we start attracting things very easily into our lives. This is why I love to have fun. This is why I love to teach people to have fun. Because if you're having fun, wow, life is enjoyable, and you start creating things out of, well, you're not even creating, it just seems like stuff just starts flowing to you, but you're creating it from that state. Whether you want to travel, whether it's a relationship, whether it's finances, whether it's a job, a career, a business, you're creating it because you're having fun. So my whole thing is about living fully, laughing more, and loving deeper. But it all starts with you first.
And
nothing outside of you can you change except by changing yourself first.
And I feel like that's the epitome of the golden handcuffs. Like, you're so wrapped up in this good that you're afraid to go through what you got to go through to get to great. You know, you may think that the chasing the more money, like, oh, if I just get more money, it's going to get me out of my golden handcuffs. So, like, the golden handcuffs isn't about the money. Like, it's not about like just a better job or whatever it is. Like, it's getting over that discomfort, over that complacency that's got you so wrapped up in it, and that complacency. I've been thinking about, now that you're saying this, it's like that complacency is a result of that fear as well.
So when we settle, it's because we're afraid of being great, because then we got to take responsibility. But then there's also those underlying fears of not feeling worthy, not feeling adequate, not feeling deserving, which all come from the past, all comes from the ego. And that's why we play that way. But then we logically try to justify it. Right. And you see these people too. It's like, oh, you got to train your mind to be strong in your emotions. Stop. You can't. We are emotional beings. No matter how much logic you try to put into something and analyze something, every decision we make is emotional. I mean, in some form or fashion, there's always an emotion that is tied behind it. And this is men mainly. You got to train your mind to be strong in your emotions. This is why you're fucking struggling, dude. This is why we all been struggling, because we haven't been taught not to get in touch with our emotions, because it's weak and you can't do this, and it's scary. And you can't be perceived as this man who can get in touch with the emotions and deal with it and understand that. But true mental discipline comes from embracing your emotions. And when you're able to embrace your emotions, now you're free from your emotions because they no longer control you. You can control your emotions now. So every time you start getting triggered, and I say triggered, is someone pisses you off. Well, that person pissed me off. No, they didn't. You allowed yourself to get mad because you have some anger inside you that needs to be healed. And those who are ready will accept that. Others are like, that's fucking bullshit. That's not true. And I was one of them too, because I had to go through anger management. I don't know how many times in the military. Oh, this person cut you off. They didn't know that. Yeah, that pissed me off. No, you were already angry. But I'd fucking get mad at you right now, and I want to hit you right now. Tell me they didn't piss me off. No, I'm mad because they cut me off. If they didn't cut me off, I wouldn't be mad. And then you hear the metaphor of, say that you had a cup of coffee and you're walking out of the coffee shop and someone bounces into you and you spill your coffee. Well, why did your coffee get spilled? And we always want to go to, well, it's because the person bumped into me. No, it's because you had coffee in your cup. Whatever's in your cup is going to be spilled. So if you get angry, it's because you already had anger inside you. If you get offended, it's because you're already feeling offended on something inside by a belief you're holding on to. If you are sad or you're lashing out at someone, trying to control and manipulate, especially in relationships, we think that we got to change other people, make them change and make us feel good. No, that is not how relationships are supposed to work. And that's how I was in my relationships. If I could just get them to do this thing, I would be okay. And it goes through with everything. Like you were talking about money. If I had this much money, I was there too. If I had this much money, I'd be good. Do you know how many wealthy people are out there who are miserable because they haven't dealt with their shit? And if they lost their money, they will die. And there's so many wealthy people who have a lack mindset. It's because, and they have money. And that's like, fuck, I would love to have the money. My mindset kept me from having money. I mean, so there's two ends of that spectrum. But then there's also a lot of wealthy people who are at peace. Why? Because they're not attached to it, because their happiness has nothing to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
You want money? Be happy first. You want love? Love yourself first. You want freedom? Be the freedom inside you first. That's how it works. It's inside out. Our reality, we think, well, this is what's going on. This is real. This is what's going on. Suffering is real. It's only because that's what you see. Because that's what you believe. Change what you believe, and what you see changes. Boom. Mind blown. But you got to be ready for it. And everybody has their own journey. Some people will never get there because they're not supposed to. Their journey is to go through what they're going through. Everything we experience in life, all the abuse and all the shit that I've gone through, led me to where I am today, being able to do this. But it's able to use comedy to help that. Because if you can laugh, you can have fun, life is much more, I can't talk, shit. It's easier. It's so much easier when you're having fun, that you're not attached to how things are happening. You deal with the guilt and shame of your past, and you're not moving forward. And when you are triggered, you go, oh, what needs to be healed? And you can go within and heal that and laugh at yourself. We are so uptight because we're living in these standards that, well, you got to be serious and you can't hear, and you got this serious thing going on, and you can't be, you're always having fun. You can't be having fun all the time. Fuck you, I can. And I'm going to do it. And the only reason you don't like it is because it makes you uncomfortable, because you don't know how to do it, but you really want to inside. And the reason that we judge and criticize other people is because we actually can't stand that about ourselves. Everything is a mirror. Everything. Our outside world is a reflection of our inside world. But we always want to change the outside world, thinking if we can do that, we are going to be golden. If I had this next job, if I had this next girl or guy, if I had this next raise. I've done that. And I'm still miserable. This is why I ruined relationships. This is why I attracted people who weren't good for me. And the ones that were good, I would find a way to fuck them up because I didn't feel like I deserved them. I would find a way to fuck up my income because I didn't feel like I deserved the income. And my bar was set low. 50 grand was my limit. Made more than 50 grand, I'd sabotage it. And I would stay at a comfortable, it's like a thermostat, right? If you ever read The Big Leap, it talks about our upper limit. Our upper limit is how much fun and how much love and how much, if anything, that we can experience based on our belief systems. It's all in the subconscious. The only way that you're going to heal that and move forward to have true happiness, to have true freedom, is to not have attachment to anything. And then people don't understand that, which I did this too. It's like, oh, if I don't have attachment to my goals or my desires, then I won't get them. No. When you don't have attachment, you're actually opening up to allow that to come into your life a lot faster. We manifest. Law of attraction is real. We have universal laws. It all works. People think, oh, that doesn't work. I've tried that. It's like people saying, oh, I tried working out one time and I was sore as shit after one time, so it didn't work for me. I mean, it's the same kind of comment. Oh, I tried that once, it doesn't work. And the reason why people say it's all bullshit is because they're stuck in their beliefs and they can't get out of their own way to see something different. The way with science is now, it's like, oh, science now, the stuff now, that's all bullshit. What you're talking about, astrology with this, and I'm like, no, that's all scientific. There's science that backs it up. Well, you got to show me proof. No, the burden of proof is on you because you're telling me it's bullshit. But I can give you all the proof in the world. But if you're not open to it, you're not going to see it, and you're going to still say it's bullshit. I can make anything. I can find anything to support anything I believe. That's what the media does all the time. So, but think about it. We can. There's so much at our disposal. If I want to believe something and I want to try to prove a point to someone, I can find anything that I want to make people believe what I want to believe on that.
Even if it doesn't, you can manipulate it to do that.
Absolutely. And just because we don't think something's true, oh, that's bullshit. That's this pseudoscience or whatever, right? Oh, what we do. I'm like, no, there's so much science behind it. So much science behind it. All you gotta do is look at quantum physics. Yeah. It tells you everything you need to know. But we try to figure everything from a cognitive way, right? a cognitive kind of way. Even on religion, there's more cognitive than it is spiritual. And I know people will argue with that, but you're not going deep enough.
Mhm.
You're only going to cognitive, which is this guilt and shame and fear and all this other stuff. You're only getting part of it. Yeah, you can change, you can grow, even in religion. I did. But there comes a time for some of us who are saying, there's something missing, there's something more. And that's what happened to me. There's something missing, there's something more. I wanted to know who God really was on a deeper level. I wanted to know who Jesus was. I mean, I was asking these questions. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm asking them. I was like, why am I asking that? I don't get it. My soul knew. And started because I was not being true to myself. I was not being in alignment with who I am. I was ready for that crucifixion, that resurrection, and that ascension. The ascension is raising your vibration, raising your frequency from this fear and this guilt and the shame, these anger and these resentment, right? And moving up to courage and joy and peace and love. Because love is who we really are. You always hear that like the hippie, oh, I love and love. It's like hippie. It's like, no, that's who we are at our core. The reason we have so much hate, and we have so much bitterness, and we have so much anger and resentment is because we have so much fear inside of us, so much lack. That's really what it boils down to. And this is why wars have gone on. And it's like, oh, we know we have wars here, this and that. It's like, this is human behavior. It's outdated.
Mhm.
It's all lack. They have it. They're trying to get what I have, and there's only a limited amount. Limited amount of love, limited amount of happiness, limited amount of peace, limited amount of things, limited amount of money. No, it's unlimited. If you get out of your own damn way and step into it, step into that power of who you truly are. Literally, we are powerful spiritual beings. And anybody who is in a religious realm listening to me, if you go into the Bible, it'll tell you that too. If you look in it, I mean, it's there. There's truth in there. I just don't think it's the deepest truth anymore. It can't be, but it's in there. Because I went back and looked, and I'm like, all the times I've gone through this book, all the times I've listened to a sermon, this is never addressed, or they would try to address in some way. Because there's something in the New Testament, and then you go into the Old Testament. And the Old Testament even says in Psalm 82:6, right? I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I feel like I'm supposed to be sharing this right now. Psalm 82:6, it says, "You are God's children of the divine." Boom. Well, that's not what that means. What the hell? How else do you freaking decipher that? It's like, that's exactly what it means. We are gods and goddesses. Here to create, here to live, here to serve. We were not meant to settle and just go life working a job and not do anything meaningful. Some of us are meant to do a job, but we have a deeper purpose in that job.
Mm-hmm.
And you can serve on a greater capacity. Others of us are not meant to be in a job. It's a means to an end to move us to the next level, to do what lights our soul on fire. I always tell people this whole laugh more, love deeper, and live fully. That live fully is to do what lights your soul on fire, and to live and experience life, create memories.
So do you think that the laughter is more of a tool to get there, to get over that fear, or do you think that the laughter is like a shortcut, like a supercharger to get you just boom, you're there?
It's both. How about that? It's both.
All right, it's both.
It's a tool, but it's also a supercharger. I mean, it's both. It allows you to live life, but the thing is that when you're healing, you laugh more anyway because you're happier. You're living in more joy, more freedom. Not to say that I'm laughing and happy all the time. Come on, you heard my stories of me freaking having these spiritual awakenings. It doesn't feel well. Now it's not as bad, but I'm still working through stuff. We always will until the day we leave, till the day we physically leave this plane. We don't actually die. Death is an illusion. Our bodies physically die, but we don't, because energy can't be created nor destroyed. It just is. We just change dimensions. We change forms. That is it. I can tell you stories and stories and stories of spiritual stuff that's happened. Because spirits love to be around higher vibrational frequency people. My wife visits a lot more. Well, I think she probably did before. I just wasn't in tune with it because my vibration was so low. and I feel it more now. Now my daughter feels it too. I can't unsee, I can't unexperience what I've experienced. You can try to debate, the legitimacy of the stuff that I share, but you cannot deny what I experience and what I feel. But everybody has their own experience, and we can't judge other people because they don't believe the way we believe. And I got in that guilty realm, and I moved out of religion. I still had this like, no, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. No, it's right for you. Because some people that's all they can handle. That's really why religion was created in the first place, not only to control, but for those who couldn't go deeper and understand and really wrap their head and their body around this power that they are. It's taken me forever to really step into this power that I am, and I'm still not stepping into it fully. It's a fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on it. I'm aware, and I'm working on it and working on it. But we can't force it. It's going to release and let go when it's supposed to. But what we're seeing right now with this pandemic, we're seeing a change in the world. Like the renewing of the world is changing as we know it. You're damn right it is. The end of the world, it is the end of the world as we know it right now.
Speaking of laughter, people thought I was crazy today. I was walking through them singing, "It's the end of the world as we know it."
But it is, it's true.
Yeah.
It is the end of the world as we know it. The world isn't ending, but as we know it, because we're going through a shift. We're going through an energetic vibrational shift. The earth is recalibrating. It's messing people up. It's creating these pandemics to wake people up, to get the priorities straight. Because come on, we're so focused on job, hustle, grind, gotta do this. I'm so disconnected, I'm so stressed, I'm so worried. When suicide's at an all-time high, mental illness is at an all-time high. Why? Because people are so damn disconnected from themselves. And we're so disconnected from each other. So I'm grateful that we are in this semi-quarantine, right? We're not in a full-on yet. Who knows? It might change too. Everything changes every other day now. Where it may go to that, where you can just go to the stores, because some parts of the country, some parts of the world are already like complete lockdowns, but they're a lot worse off than what we are. But some areas are doing that lockdown, but it's great because now we are forced to sit down, and then people are going crazy. Like, oh shit, I got to have alcohol. I got to do this. My kids are home. And I'm like, I'm excited. I get to make funny videos with my daughter. I get to have more fun. I get to connect more with myself.
Yeah.
I get to slow down, which I was trying to be, like I was telling you before we even started really getting recording is, I went on a cruise, which that's part of my living my life is having fun and traveling and seeing the world and being able to work and do business throughout the world, but be able to serve and change people's lives and help them to laugh more and to have more fun in life. This is why I started my own podcast, Laughing Through Life. This is why I started this business, Laughing Through Life. Because we can do that. If we can laugh through life, can you think about the chaos that's going on right now, the panic that's going on? If there were more people laughing through life, we'd have less panic. We'd have less disease. We'd have less contagiousness of viruses. And I know some people are trying to argue that with science and whatever. It's like, this is how it works.
Yeah.
You can only go so far understanding and belief with science based on the person's belief and based on what the stuff we have and this kind of thing, but it goes deeper. It goes deeper than that. The reason stuff is so contagious is because our immune system is down, because we're so stressed and we're so fierce and we're focused on it.
Yep.
Viruses, disease is when we're disconnected from ourselves, our true source of who we are and our power. When you're connected, you're more aligned, disease can't exist. Because those are lower vibrational. Viruses and bacteria, it's all in lower vibration. So we are exposed to hundreds of viruses and bacteria daily. The majority of those, we don't ever get.
Yeah.
The only time we do is when we focus on it. What you focus on, your energy flows towards. And guess what flows to you? That is energy. This is why there's this mass freaking just going crazy with this virus. It's because the fear is creating it and making it worse. But if we are laughing more, we'd have less of that. We'd have more happiness. We'd have less hate. We'd have less judgment. And you'd see the freaking monkey. You'd stop seeing so much monkey business in our freaking government. I mean, it's just stupid what we see going on in our government. I'm just going to laugh at that too. But you see that in governments all over the world, but it's more prone here because we're here, right, in the U.S. But it's you see that because there's so much hate being thrown. And that's the thing too, when we hate someone else, right, we're really hating something about ourselves. But they feel that energy. And guess what happens? They react out of that energy. All of this is unconscious.
Yeah.
What we see going on right now is most of it's unconscious. Like I had hate towards two of my exes. They felt it. And they would lash back out. But when I finally healed and I sent them love and I started loving them right where they are, allowing them, and I started saying that what their battle has nothing to do with me. I have my own battle. And I finally let them go and I started healing it. And anytime I got triggered, I got more healing to do. That's what I started doing. It's like anytime I got triggered or something happened, I'm like, ooh, I got something to heal. I stopped trying to force the outside. I started going in more. I got something to heal. I stopped trying to fight it. I stopped trying to judge it. So I'm getting pissed off at myself because it doesn't help. I start laughing more at myself and how ridiculous it is in some things that I'm getting freaked out about or that I'm working through. I just start laughing. I'm like, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
When I'm working with someone, I'm making fun of them in a loving way because then they start laughing. And they see it like, I've never had a counselor or therapist or coach sit here and make me laugh and cry at the same time. I'm like, you haven't had anybody like me.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. But it's like I'm laughing. They're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, I'm a fucking comedian lighting your ass on fire and you were transforming. Think about it. When do we learn the best? When do kids learn the best?
Having fun playing.
When they're having fun. It doesn't change. We forget. Kids are before all this programming gets in, they put the veil over them, right? They are more in tune to who we truly are, that spiritual being. They're more in tune with that. That's why Jesus said, be more childlike.
Yeah.
Not so uptight. Have fun. You let go of the veil and all the layers and the conditioning that we have, and we can see into that. So what happens with kids is we put the conditioning on them because we're not comfortable. Slow down, stop this, you can't do this. And their creativity and their imagination, because that's all spiritual. And we put this freaking bearing on them because it's the same thing that's done to us. And Reese, the only thing we can do is break the damn cycles and say, this is no longer because it's not serving me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm breaking the cycles. I'm going to learn to laugh through life. I'm going to learn to live fully, and I'm going to learn to love deeper. But you can't fully love when you don't love yourself first. You can't fully live until you start really understanding who you truly are and what you desire.
Mm.
And through that creation of who you are, that power of who you are as a divine being. And you can't laugh until you really start healing that and let go of the attachment to what's holding you back. You can laugh along the way because you're learning it. You can't I can't laugh until this happens. No, you're going to laugh along the way. It makes it so much easier to deal with. It makes it so much easier to go through when you're laughing instead of just being in so much pain and suffering. Suffering is optional.
That's a lesson for us all. Just laugh. Stop suffering. So Tony, what's in the vision for what you're doing next?
So I got a lot of time on my hands right now. We're stuck not doing much. And I had to, cancel everything. So one of the things I'm working on right now, and I'm waiting up but right now I'm doing a lot of, okay, what's next? I had to cancel things. What do I do next? How do I serve from a place where I can't gather physically, but I can go gather online? So I've been working on a community, but it's more than a community. So it's a monthly subscription kind of deal, but you have access to all these different videos that I'm putting together, which I'm working on now to help people laugh their way to total transformation. That's really what it's called, Laugh Your Way to Total Transformation. So it's an all access program. So you get access to every single program that I put together, including now. So right now, the 3 areas are the to laugh more, to live, fully and love deeper. And so, and the laugh more is about going in with yourself, understanding who you truly are, ripping. And I know that sounds painful, but just ripping those conditions and all that stuff that's not true of you, all that stuff that you bought into for your whole life, healing all of that, forgiving yourself, letting it all go, understanding that you're this true divine being, right? This powerful being, that you have the power to create and rewrite your script for yourself. So that's part of it. Loving deeper is loving yourself deeper, so then you can love your spouse and your kids deeper and be more present and in the moment with them, build amazing relationships like I have with my daughter. We have an amazing freaking relationship now.
Mhm.
Absolutely freaking amazing. I know what women need on the deepest level. You always hear men say, man, women are so hard to figure out. Yeah, because we're not in touch with ourselves. It's because my wife died, gave me a daughter. They both saved me. That's why I'm so happy and grateful that my wife died. It sucks, but she saved me.
You're like a real life Mel Gibson now.
I guess I am. I guess I am, but she did. She saved me, and I know what they need on the basic sense, right? Is because my daughter's taught me. Women don't want to be fixed.
Mhm.
They're making it very known now what women want. They don't want a man who is not emotionally available anymore. They want a man who is emotionally available.
Mhm.
No more. They're like, I'm fucking done with this emotionally disconnected man. You need to do something. But they also want the man to have a purpose and to do something meaningful and live full out for that. There's so many men who are so, because the definition of what a man's supposed to be, and which is you define who you are as a man. No one else defines you.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Men have failed men for centuries now, the way we're taught and passed on, and it's all changing. This whole end of the world as we know it, it's all changing. This is all part of it. What women are doing, women are stepping back into their power, and they're holding on to that because women are powerful.
Yeah. And
Absolutely powerful.
They're many steps beyond us men.
They are, but we've repressed them and suppressed them so long too because we couldn't handle the emotional side.
Yeah.
And now women are like, nope, we're going back and we're reclaiming that power.
Yeah.
This goes back to priestesses and witches, and when it's all burnt and all that and killed, that's when it all started because men couldn't handle the emotion piece. Now it's going back. So men are struggling. It's like, how do I do this? How do I connect? And, I'm supposed to do this and provide and this and that. I'm like, you know what? If I lost everything, if I'm broken living in my car or living in a box, my daughter's love for me would not change. It wouldn't matter at all.
Because that's not where it comes from. Right.
It's how I connect with her. That's what fucking matters. But do I have a lot of conditioning that I'm still healing and walking through? Absolutely. There's layers of it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the money side, man. We got so much we got to walk through, beaten up, and you're just going to keep going through. Physical provision is not really what women want. They can care less. Some do. It's because they got their own healing. Right?
Yep.
When they are nagging and just beating you down, it's because they don't trust you. Because you don't trust yourself and you're not living up to your full potential. That's what they want. Go make something happen. Go serve something. Go create a legacy. Let's do this together. You're playing small. They don't want us to play small. And that's all what we've been doing for centuries, is playing small, living in this masculinity that's got to do and has no emotion and no feeling. And you got to be this brute and you got to fight and all this other thing. And that's just freaking weak.
It's a
That's
mask.
weakness. It is.
Tony, what is one book that'll change someone's life?
Shoot. Well, I mentioned one earlier. I'm going to give you two. So I'm going to not listen to your rules. I'll give you two. One is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenal book. The second one is The Way of the Superior Man. Women can read this book too. It's pretty phenomenal because it shows the power of who they are, but it also shows the power of what men are and how they're supposed to be showing up and how they should show up in as a spiritual, energetic man, whether you're religious, spiritual, or not. It's a good way to help you unwind all of those beliefs that we were holding on to. And then the third one, I'll give you a third one too, is Untethered Soul. Those are 3 great books.
Beautiful.
I could
What's
give
one
mine too, but I don't want to.
What's one podcast you can't live without?
I go through phases with podcasts. I'm trying to, which one am I was just on one. I literally, it goes through phases of, I'm looking at it right now as we're going through, because I'm trying to think. I go through these phases of what's, there's
What kind of
depends
phase
on
are you
what I'm
in?
looking. So I've been listening to a lot of Gary Vee
Okay.
lately, because he's been doing a lot of shifting, and you can see it from his hustle and grind. There's a lot more spiritual shift in his messages now, which is really, really cool. So there's a lot going on there. I listen to, Tony Robbins' podcast. I listen to the Model Health Show. So there's about health. There's a lot of stuff there and good stuff there. And I've had a lot of other ones, but that's kind of where I'm at right at the moment. And I'm listening to more, and I'm leaning now. This is where I'm at, and in between, to more spiritual, to help me go deeper into myself and connect with myself deeper to my higher self, so that I can continue to step into the unknown and own that love and that power that we are, to go be that light worker that I am, to serve on a greater level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it's about.
What would you like to promote? What do you want people to know about?
I will promote, a couple things is my podcast is Laughing Through Life. I have a lot of different spiritual healers and guests on there, and we have some fun. It's a lot of comedy. You can go to my YouTube channel and see those shows there too, but I have more of my funny videos, my comic skit videos that I put on there, which now that I got a new computer, I can get to some of these finished that I have. And of course, I'm going to have some of these coronavirus funny videos on there too. And then, I'll promote, because now I'm focusing on that, since we can't do much, is my Laugh Your Way to Total Transformation group community, where you get the access to all these different videos that I was talking about, right? These lessons is going to help you grow. It's at your own pace. But you also have access as I evolve, my business evolves, as the Laughing Through Life evolves. Any program that I put out, they automatically have access to it. But you also get a private Facebook group that not only you're going to have a group of people, because this is new, this is all just now starting right now. Have a group of people that are championing you, that are cheering you on, that are supporting you. And man, it allows you to move through your transformation a lot faster, because you got a lot of people just sitting there cheering you on, and you got a group that you can relate to, going through the same stuff, maybe on different levels, but going through the same stuff, and they're cheering each other on. And with that, I do weekly online events where I walk through people through their questions and use my empath ability to help them walk through and have breakthroughs right there live every week. So I'm promoting that. So Laugh Your Way to Total Transformation, and you can go to my website at tonyfonte.com and get more information on that. But it's $29 a month, unlimited access to all that stuff.
That sounds like a great deal.
It's freaking cheap as shit. And I don't want to say cheap, because I hate the word cheap, because people think cheap. It's not cheap. It's very inexpensive. Even in this economic time right now, it's still inexpensive to transform your life for that. And you have access to all of that. Again, I am building it as we go. So anybody who joins now, we're building it together, because I'm moving at it. And then that's actually works great, because then I can also say, what are your challenges you're having right now that I can go and do videos on? Yeah. But these training videos, they're going to be fun and energetic, and we're going to have fun and laughing in them too. And when I'm doing these live, I don't want to use the word coaching, because I'm moving away from that, right? But I'm just going to say live transformations. Let's do that. Live transformational conversations. There we go. Live transformational conversations. Where as these people are going through the videos, and they're going through the action steps to figure out and go in deeper, and they're challenged or questioned, or they start having that breakdown as their beliefs start to unwind, I can walk them through. Because if I can only work with one person in that hour that I'm doing that, right, it's still going to benefit everybody that's on that call, because they are struggling with something too, but they get to see something that is magical. They get to see someone's life transform right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, to see a shift. And that gives me chills, and to see, it's powerful. And that's what I love to do. And then eventually it's going to lead to live events, which these members in this group get discounts on live events too. Which, by the way, these live events aren't going to be expensive either. I used to be this guy, following all these marketing guys. Oh God, you got to have high end and you got to do this. You know what? I'm going to have it low enough. I want to sell out the room. I want to sell out the room to get more people in the room.
And what a better time too. That's not a $29 expense at that point. It's an investment. In this time we're in, like, go invest in your fun, your health, get out of this crazy world. Like, go do it and let's live life.
Let's laugh a little bit more and stress a lot less.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what my vision is that I see just being the light worker, to say, let's laugh, but using my gifts of comedy and laugh, because people are like, dude, you love to have fun. You were goofing off I'm like, yes, I've always been that guy, but I did it for the wrong reasons. I didn't want people to see my own pain. Now I'm doing it because I am lit up. I don't have all that pain holding me back. Do I still have shit to walk through? Yes. I'm going through some right now. But I can still laugh at it. Dude, I got in a wreck in December, right? I got rear-ended at a dead stop, going 50 mile. Some guy was going 50 mile an hour in an SUV, slammed in the back into me. I walked away from it. And I shouldn't have. The cop was even like, I don't know how you walked away. EMTs are like, I don't know how you walked away. I was hurting, but I walked away. It wasn't minutes after there, I was laughing with the firefighters, laughing about the situation. The other people who were involved in the accident, because he hit me at a dead stop, and I went like a missile on this person in front of me, and it just had a chain reaction, right? Lady it was her first wreck ever. She's like in her 50s. First wreck ever. She's freaking out. I had her laughing. I had the old couple that was involved laughing. I had the cops laughing. As the guy who hit me was getting arrested because he shouldn't have been driving. This is 2 p.m, but we were just laughing about it. This is what I'm talking about. I just got my ass handed to me in a wreck. And was I still kind of jittery? Oh yeah, I was still in shock, but I was having fun with it. I go to the emergency room after I pick my daughter up, because I was on the way to pick her up from school. I'm a single dad. I still had to do that. I'm like, I had to call school. Can you hold her? I'll be there when I can get there. And I refused going into the ambulance because I'm like, nope, I got to get to my daughter. I'm walking. I'll go figure this out. But because I went, because my rear end there was no rear end left. It got smashed all the way in. I mean, he was in my trunk. He smashed. I mean, glass shattered. I mean, it was bad.
Totally tasteless jokes.
Yes, but we can laugh. I can laugh at that. I'm in the emergency room. I had the doctor laughing. The lady who's doing does all the registration, right, and get you all set. She's having a stressful day. And she's like, oh, it's been one of those days. And I said, well, did you get rear-ended? Your car get totaled? No. And I'm like, you haven't had a bad day then. And we were just laughing, and I had her laughing, and it was, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I have the gift of sensing that and laughing. I'm like, I want to bring laughter. But here's the thing I want people to understand is, if you are stressed out and if you are depressed and you're worried and I get your ass to laugh, that means you have power over your emotions. I can get you when you're freaking crying and I can get you to laugh. You have power. That's what I want people to understand. They have control over that. And you don't have to wait till you get through your emotions. You don't have to wait till you get to your anxiety. You don't have to wait till you get to your depression to be able to laugh. You laugh the entire journey. Laugh through life. That's my vision. I want to bring that everywhere, because there is so much less hate. I mean, marriages would be saved. Marriages would be stronger. We would find stronger soulmates, if we want to use that word. Better companion. Our kids would grow up differently. The generations would shift. Our government would shift. World governments would shift. We'd have more peace and less war. Will it completely end? Not in my lifetime. but laughter is contagious,
Mhm.
and it's more so than pain. And the ones that get triggered, good. I hope it does trigger you in a most loving way possible, because
Absolutely.
it's planting the seed. You have a choice. I'm making you uncomfortable, and you don't like it.
Mhm.
I'm doing it right now because people can't stand some of the stuff that I'm laughing about. They're like,
I
this
don't-
is serious. And I'm like, fuck that.
I don't want to stop. Like, I know this is my longest podcast yet, but it's so deep and powerful. I love it, man. But
Thanks, man. I love to share this stuff. I love talking. So I
So-
can talk, but when I get going, I just I want to share, and I just want to keep, because I am so passionate about people laughing, man. I mean, it's just, I want them to laugh. I want them to laugh. You know, this comedy thing is new to me, and it scares the shit out of me. Not even going to deny that. But I know that's where I'm supposed to be. So I do it.
that's
I'm
where you're
gonna
going to
do it.
grow.
And it's going to be powerful.
Mhm.
And it lets people know, hey, you might be afraid, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of it, that means you're supposed to be doing it.
Right.
And I've been deathly afraid and avoided it for so long, and I can't deny it anymore, because this is where I'm supposed to be.
Got to lean
And I'm
into it.
being pushed, because the world's ending as we know it, and it's creating this shift, and this energy is shifting. It's making us all move. And that's why people are losing their ever-loving minds. But then there's other of us who are just sitting back going, fuck, give me a drink or something. I'll watch this one. This is funny. And we
Anybody got
just give me some popcorn. Jinx. Give me some popcorn over here. This is freaking awesome. Just watching it, because people are just losing their minds. And, you know, I got to watch myself trying to be more loving. It's like, I don't want to invalidate their feelings, because it's real. But why it's real is the struggle, is the issue. So that's what we need to get past. It's like, if we can get past that, but people got to be open to it. Just laugh more, have more fun. This is why I was kind of sad when I ended up having to cut the comedy show, even though I still had that fear, right? I was sad because I'm like, you know what? People need to laugh more than ever right now.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna improvise. I'm gonna do my videos and put those out there. I'm gonna do more TikToks with my daughter doing funny shit. I did one on the coronavirus one already, and I'll have more as soon as I have the creativity come. I'm gonna start doing it, because that's all we can do right now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna reach people and just, here's a laugh for you. I'm not promoting anything. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything. Laugh. That's all I want you to do.
Yeah.
And if you decide to go look me up, great. Just want you to laugh. The rest will take care of itself.
Beautiful. So what action should a viewer or listener take right now?
Man, there's a lot there. I'll try to make this as quick as possible and figure that piece out. The action needed to start shifting your awareness. Start shifting and becoming aware of where you're unhappy, where you're stressed out at, where you're anxious at. And then ask yourself the question, why? Why do I feel this way? Just becoming more aware of your thoughts, more aware of your actions, more aware of your triggers. What's triggering you? What's making you angry? What's making you fearful? What's making you sad? What's offending you? Why? It's always that question, why? And bring that back in. Go within. Stop trying to change and do and manipulate the outside world. Go within. Shift your awareness. Go within, and your life will change.
It's powerful. Tony, thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Reese, this has been awesome. I've been an honor to be on here, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me share with your audience and your listeners, just to pour what I've learned and what I've experienced to get me to where I am now, being able to do this.
It's been an honor having
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Before you go, if you'd like to have a one-on-one discussion about how you can get more fulfillment out of your life, I'm hosting free one-on-one, 1-hour conversations to help you get more out of your life. Let's help you get out of your golden handcuffs. If you want to set up an appointment, reach out to me at ghg@goldenhandcuffsguy.com. We'll set something up, get this going, and get you out of your golden handcuffs. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a rating on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever platform you're listening on. If you want to see more, go to goldenhandcuffsguy.com, where you have access to my blog, my podcasts, and a bunch of other information to help you remove your golden handcuffs.